Hello. Okay, so our first attempt at altered paper clips was a little successful and a little touch and go. So these are the ones that we made. I think I'll still go ahead and post that video. Maybe it'll be a bit of a learning for all of us. So I'll still post that in a bit. But I did find a bit of a better method. So I wrote down some measurements and we will do another one of these together. In hopes of having it work better than the other time. So far, it's looking promising. So I grabbed some scraps here, some thicker cardstock scraps out of my little scrap bin. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to want to cut them down to 3 1/4 inches. So I'm going to score or mark these. Let's go ahead and just mark it 3 and 1. I said 1 1/4, right? Yep. And 1 1/4. And then let's go ahead and cut these. I didn't want to pull my big quilt cutter thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my scissors to go ahead and cut this out. I don't want that pencil mark on there, so I'm just going to cut on the inside of the pencil mark. So there's that one, and then I want to score this at 1 1/4, not cutting, just scoring. So we'll score that there, and then fold that over. All right, so there's the outside, and for the inside, I'm going to grab another scrap. This one doesn't have to be quite as thick. I really should have just grabbed this beforehand, but that one's too thick. Okay, let's just get a regular piece of paper. Doesn't matter what color it is, you're not going to be able to see it. And so this piece we want to be 2 1/2 by 1. So we're going to go 2 1/2. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. There's our 2 1/2. This particular scoring tool has a little bit of a sharper edge here. And I should be able to just cut right through. There we go. Like I said, we're not going to see it, so it does not have to be beautiful. So that was our 2 1/2, and now we want to do 1. So let's go ahead and that's the nice thing about this thinner paper. So there's our 2 1/2 by 1, and we're going to score, not cut, at 1 1/8. And this is going to be our inside piece of paper. Let's get this guy out of our way for now. And I'm just going to fold it over. It might not be exact, so just kind of watch how your edges are lining up when you do your folding here. I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder on this one. Get it nice and tight. And pick I think we'll go, should we just do the pink? That's a little too pink. Let's grab a silver one from over here, or I do have a gold. I don't have very many of the golds, but I've got some. Let's see, that gold will look pretty nice. I don't have any others in gold, so let's do gold for this one. And what we are going to do, the small, shorter side of your paper goes with your shorter side of your paper clip, like this. We're going to end up setting this in here like this. You want to double check first to make sure that that inside paper's not too long, and it is. It's a little too long, so we're just going to clip it off a little. One of the other things I want to try this time is rounding the corners to see if that will help them not get stuck. So just the smallest amount of rounding. Let's see, I can't even quite see if I got it. There we go. Now it's in there. Okay. Not that I'm seeing any issues so far. The other ones I didn't round. I'm going to go ahead and round these two. Now, do we want to go 7? Or, nah, let's go with the smallest. Just the slightest bit of rounding. And let's round this side as well. Why not? Let's give her a go. Oh, that one I did 7. That's okay. It's bigger. It'll be a little bit more proportional, so we're okay. All right, we're going to set that guy down. Let's try this again and see. Backwards. Let's try this again and see if this does the trick. Yes, that is going to remain hidden, but we also have a little bit of our paper clip hanging out on each side so that we can hang something from it. All right, now we want to glue this in. On the last one, we opened it up a little bit and then I couldn't get it back closed, so we're going to go this way this time and do it completely closed. So far, it seems to be working. So I'm going to get my, left this open too long. Let's go ahead and open that back up. And get some glue here. We want to get it, we don't want a whole lot, but we want to make sure we get it all the way to the edge, especially down here. Right, now let's place it. Get it about to the center before we really push down and hold it. It does take a minute because we do have that thicker paper on the outside, and so we do have that little bit of bulk in the middle with that paper clip. All right, it is looking solid in there. All right, so then we just open it up. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Not too much, but all the way to the edge. And we're lining everything up. We did not ink the edges yet. Should have done that before I glued it in, but we'll see if we can get it figured out. The edges for sure will be fine. It's the bottom that I'm a little concerned about, but we'll see what we end up with. All right, so let's get our glue plugged up here. All right, and I think for this one, I was looking to see if I've got a here it is. I don't use that very often. Here's the dauber for that one. Oops, not red. Tea dye. Since we've got some orange in this, the tea dye is a bit more orange than some of the other browns, so I think that will look nice. See if I can get some up there. We'll be able to wipe it off of that. I think that's pretty okay. Right now, for this one, I guess it doesn't matter if we get it on that back side, does it? Let's do the easy parts first. And then see if we can just get a little there down at the bottom. Not the best in the world, but it's not horrible either. Okay. All right. Let's call that one exactly how we want it. All right, so that leaves us with these guys and this one. Now you might need to go in at a bit of an angle. What am I stuck on, perhaps? Looks like I'm stuck. What am I stuck on? Maybe more of an angle. There we go. Even more of an angle than I thought. Okay, so that's how that is going to look. These are obviously the short sides of these other ones. So let's do a little decorating. I might see if we can get the corner rounder in here. I don't know if we can or not, but I'm gonna try because I really do like it a lot better with the corners rounded. I don't think we're gonna be able to do it. Maybe. Nope, we are not. So, note for next time, round your corners first. Okay, so we've got some orange. Let's see what we want to put on this one. Did you see those flowers are pretty nice? Here's a flower that's got some orange on it. So we could do that. We could pull out. I'm getting too much stuff on my desk. Let's see if there's any little stickers that we like, perhaps. That's kind of pretty. I don't think we want any, whoa, I don't think we want any circle stickers, but let's see what some of these white backed stickers are. If we have anything here that we like. Okay. I had to step away for a second and kind of forgot what we were talking about, but I think based on this, I'm guessing we're looking for some stickers. Those are cute, but not really the right color combo that we're looking for. So maybe we need to get these out of the way. No, you don't. Not you, not you. And I just spotted a very orange flower, orange and red, and I think that is a great one for this. Let's see what else might be fun for some of these other ones. Oh, there's another orange. That's cute. Just kind of pick some cute little things. There's some teeny tiny little bits, some itty bitty labels, There's another tiny one. Oh, and here comes the dogs wanting to hang out with us. There's a little red. And there's some teeny weeny ones. I have not yet decided if these dogs are going to be able to be good if they come in, so might have to think about that. Now, do we want to see? Let's see if maybe we want to put one of these on. Even just maybe just a piece of one. Let's cut this and see if we like it. You know, there's only 1,000 of them in there, so I think we'll be okay. All right. How about we do this and a little label and a flower. Let's just do it. Now, when we did the other ones, maybe we want it on this side. Or we could turn it over. Nah, we want it this way. Let's just do it on that side. When we did the other one, we didn't put a whole ton of glue, but it was kind of cooler with a little bit additional glue. I don't know if that even makes sense. But it looked a little cooler because the underneath color came through a little more. So I'm gonna put enough on here that I think it will squash around and give us more color impact. Oh, I can't even see what I'm doing here. That look about straight? Yeah, straight-ish enough. All right. This should hold okay. We'll watch it and try to make sure. Let's squish it down real good. So what we definitely don't want are glue lines. It might be a little lumpy. It's not straight, I see that, but you know, we're doing what we're doing. And we said we were gonna go with this orange flower. Let's make sure we don't prefer this one. Nah, I like this one. Do we also, oh, you know, the green butterfly is pretty cool too. What if we did that and put, oh, come here. That there might be too much. It's not like we've got a great big, I think I like that better. Hope I'm in frame here. Let's go with this. Now, I'm going to ink the edges, but slightly, as we've talked about with these little ones before. Just enough to mask that edge. Right. Let's get our glue on. Went a little crazy there with my glue. And let's get this here. Hold it down for a moment. I still forget that this stuff grabs so quickly, and I probably hold it longer than I really need to. All right, now with our tiny little label, we're going to give it just a touch as well. And let's stick this guy on. I probably at some point should get some tweezers, but I don't have any right now. And I want this not quite centered. Oh, will it let me slide it a little? Oh, it's not very straight. Okay. I think we manhandled it into being straighter than it was. It's not perfection, but that's why they're junk journals. They don't have to be perfection. Throw this on for a minute while we figure out what we want to do to the other side. All right, so now we've got this side. I did like how the green butterfly looked, so I think we want to go with that. And maybe, how about a little bitty red stamp poking out from underneath? I think that will look cool. Oh yes, our ink. I haven't re-inked my dauber yet. It's got barely anything on it, you can see, but we don't want a lot. And the ink is very good and pigmented, so we don't need a lot. And the fact that there's just a little left in here actually suits us just fine. All right, now let's stick him on first. Let's put our 2 cents towards the bottom. And we're going to put it right here. Let's see if we can manage to get it a little straighter than the other one. Looks good. And now we're going to go ahead and put our butterfly on and see what we think about that. I don't want to cover too much up the red. We want to still see. Our little, what is that called? I don't know, the little stamp that shows it's been through the post office. I have no idea what that is actually called, but it's on there and you can see it. And now I think we want to hang something. This one is small enough that I don't think we want to hang anything giant. How about, well, not that either because it's silver. Let's grab a gold something perhaps. What might we have in gold? Let's grab our stuff. And let's see. Stick our pin in here. Let's see. You know what? I think we're probably going to need a number stamp too, but let's see what we might have in gold. We could do a small gold bead. That's not very small though, is it? We could do a gold bead. We could, I probably just stuck my head in there. We could do a gold Choose Joy. Could hang that on there. We could, what else do we have? Not a lot of gold. That's pretty. I can't even remember what that came from. I don't know if we have any gold keys. Oh yes, we do, right there. Can I get it? Can I get it? Got a gold key. Maybe one of those for the other side. We have a gold, I have a gold Texas, wherever that came from. All right, so we've got those two. Now, anything else that we want to entertain? Anything orangish? Oh, this is the same. These are, I think, carnelian beads. We could do one on the other side of that. Let's see what we got. Let's put those back now. I think the buttons will be too big. Although we really need to use these because they're cool. We don't... we could maybe have a sunflower hanging. I'm not sure though. We'll leave one of them out just in case. I got some tiger's eye beads in here, but they're too big, I think. Let's go with that and see how we fare. Now what I don't have is gold jump rings. This one has one and that will work fine, but I don't know what we're gonna do for the other side, so we might have to get creative. Okay, tools. Let's get our tools. Wire tools, and let's go ahead and I don't think, yeah, let's go ahead and open this up side to side, stick it on there. I'm gonna hold it this way. I want to be okay with just, well, do we want to put the key on there too? Oh, hey, why not? Oh no, maybe it won't fit. Is it too small? It's too small. And that, there. It didn't go through the very top hole, but it goes through the second one. And so we're going to try it. Right, we are in a good spot there. Yeah, that actually worked out better sticking it through that hole because now it doesn't cover up the words quite as much. Okay, now I feel like this guy needs a little something else. Maybe a ribbon or some twine. Got some twine here. But I feel like right here is too naked. Let's see. I wonder if we could get this to stamp across. I don't know if we can, and I kind of only want the first 3 of the numbers. So we're going to be at an angle. So I don't really want to put it on one of our stamping blocks because that is not going to be able to work itself around that curve. So we're going to be brave. I'm going to get the black. Let's see how we're going to fare with this. Let's just put, I'm only putting ink on those that first set of numbers. I'm going to hold it and I'm going to press both. Oh, it worked, guys. Look at that. It worked. Okay. That I feel like looks a little better. Now let's decide. I wonder if we can get a bead on that. I don't think that we can. I don't think we can, but I do think if I go through the front, we might just be able to have a little bit of a twine, piece of twine hanging. So let's try that. Let's see if we can manage this with it being on the small side. Let's see, how do we want to do this? I don't want to rip any paper. So I am just going to push that up a little. Oh, maybe. All right, not enough. I'm gonna go all the way through. There we go, that's better. I'm just gonna scoot that down a little bit. I'm gonna go through. That worked much better. And let's go one at a time. We don't have a super huge, well, our loop's pretty big, I guess. There we go. Let's get these guys through. And pull that tight. Okay. All right, so there's that. Doesn't really want to stay down very well, does it? I wonder if we... Well, let's just see. If we need to later, we can always put a little spot of glue. This twine, this thicker twine, I think it's so fun when we unwind it a little bit and just get a little bit of, it's almost like crazy hair. So let's unwind this guy. See how that looks. And we might even be able to get a bead or two on here. Let's see. Let's try. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. And if it looks bad, we don't have to do it. Oh, it did work. Okay. I kinda am loving that. Okay. I should have left these longer. This is going to be a bit of a nightmare to try to, let's see, to try to tie a knot in this. Let's see, maybe if I go through and grab it with both. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Ah, ha, ha, we got it. Little knot. There's our little bead. Do we want another one? We don't really want him to be lonely all by his own self. Maybe we could do a couple more. Let's look. Let's see what this guy looks like. All right, we're coming in from the side to get him on there. It is a little fumbly. Maybe one bead is enough. Just one. I think one is better than two. I like the, you know, the kind of, oh, what do we call it? The composition rule of threes. Having odd numbers. So I think I like... Three's too many, and one will look better than two. So I think I'm going to leave that. Really like this. I don't think we need to do a whole lot more to this one. I think we're in a good spot with this guy. And let's do another one. What shall we... Let's do... I think this one will be a little challenging because we've got blue... I don't know if you can see the shimmer on that. Probably not. There is a little bit of shimmer in there. But this was just playing around with some distress inks and sprays. And there's a little bit of shimmer spray on there. But it's obviously blue and brown. And I stuck it on a purple paper clip. Let's see if we can... you know, challenge ourselves to find something cool that works. Get stuff out of the glare there. See if we can do that. So, for this, I think I want to pull out our little bitty stickers because I think we're going to have a decent chance of finding something with blue and purple on it. Okay, let's see, we've got butterflies. Oh gosh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? We've got purple flowers that would look nice. Come on. I think these little dainty guys are a little bit too dainty for what we're going for. Lots of pretty browns. That's got a tiny bit of purple in it. We don't need green. Ooh. I don't know what kind of bug that is, but he's pretty fancy. We could do bumblebees. Oh, look at the blue in their wings. That's cool. We could do an animal. Blueberries. Oh, succulents. That's a choice that we could make. Which one do we want? Let's try and see if we can make, let's do this guy. Now, just having that on there by itself is not going to be enough. We need some other interesting things. So, let's check out some of our new washi tape. That has green and blue, but that blue is kind of halfway between. Now here's some blue and purple, but also with the pink. This one might be tricky. What else could we put on there? This one might take a little thought. Let's see. We have let me take a peek in the napkins. No, I don't think that is correct. It's a slightly different purple. What about this to tie some of it together? If we had this lighter white, is that going to be too much? Here, let's, oh, okay. All right, we're gonna rip us off a corner. I had not ever noticed. Look at this particular pod on here and what pretty colors it has. We may end up just covering up all of our blue, which was not what we were supposed to do. That was not our challenge. But we're gonna check it out and see. So I'm gonna get this a little out of the way. We're gonna have to pull out our matte medium to put this down. So if you're collaging with napkins, they're multi-ply. Most are 3. There's a handful, not a handful. There are some that are 2. But even with this, where it looks like it's really thin, almost always there's another tiny layer, super thin, that you're going to want to take off. So you need to have only 1 ply when you're doing this. Otherwise, the top ply will not adhere properly. Those away. will some of the blue still peek? Oh, it will still peek through, which is good. I think that that's good. Now, do we want that on this side though, or the other side? That lets more of it through, but maybe that's enough, but it's not very much purple. That might be even too dark. What if we go this way? That gets a little of the purple, some of the blue shines through. We could always lighten it up a little. I kind of like that. Now we're going to lose part of this, but we could still put it on the other side. All right, so here's what I want to do. I want to carefully mark right there. I don't want that on it, but I want it right next to it. Okay, so what I am going to do to make this a little bit easier to work with, I'm going to grab another piece. Oh, here, let's do this because I've got a million of these. Let's grab an index card. Let's pop him on there, our dirty index card. Let's pop him on there, and we're going to use this to help us. All right, let's grab our matte medium. I'm gonna give it a shake. A little bit of shake. It's been a while since I've used it. I don't want to use my giant silicone spreader. Well, not giant, relatively, right? It's as big as it is as big as this. So, oh, here, before I open it, I've got the Blick Artist Medium, acrylic matte medium. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use that to adhere the napkin. It's going to act like a glue. We're going to put it on under and over, and we're going to do it really gently so that we don't tear our napkin. Now I've got a cruddy-ish brush. I have ruined so many brushes with my matte medium, but we're going to try to pay attention and make sure that we get this guy cleaned off in time. All right, so let's go ahead and get just a little bit of this. Let's see if I can hold this up and do it at the same time. So you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to take a little on my brush. And I'm going to go all the way to the edge here. Oh, well, see, I told you it was a cruddy brush. Okay, mini paint brushing right now. All right, all the way to the edge. This stuff dries relatively quickly. Here is my mark, and I'm going to make sure that I lay that down. Oh, off the edge. I don't want that one. Don't want that mark on there. Okay, now I'm going to very gently pat this down. This is going to glue it on. And we are then going to also grab our ridiculous teeny tiny brush, and we're going to very gently put a layer over the top. That's going to seal it and make sure it doesn't peel. right to the edge. Once you get it on there, you can also very gently use your finger to kind of smooth it out. Make sure there aren't any bubbles. The other thing you can do, if you do it carefully, is just push a little bit down, and it will help to make sure that when you get it off, oops, you don't peel it off the top. You can kind of work it and get it to rip off right now if you want, but it also works to do it after. You do want to make sure you let it solidify just a little bit before you start ripping, or you will pull it right off. It's so wet that you'll pull it right off. Now I'm going to hit it with the heat tool to help it dry quicker, and then we can pull that off. All right, and this medium is a touch shiny when it's wet, but once it's dry, just working that. Gently working that off. Now, the other thing, anything here to dry it on, wipe some of it off of this. That's kind of not working very well either. All right, the other thing that you can do, let's grab a different brush. This is actually, I want a flat. Oh, come here, flat brush. The other thing you can do now that this part is dry and it's well stuck, we can use water to weaken the napkin along the edge. I just put some water on there. And that will help it tear. And we can also trim it after we're done. Okay, so got that out of the way, kinda. I want to be a little bit more careful with this side because I really want to use the rest of that bulb. Now, it's really kind of silly when you think about it, because it's not like I don't have a whole load more of this particular napkin. I do. I could just grab another one right out of the drawer. But as I tend to do with my hoarding, I don't want to waste. You can also just go in and snip it with some scissors. Now down here towards the bottom, this had some glue on it, so that one stuck, and we absolutely will clean up those edges and can do so easily. All right, so I love the color in this so much. I don't want to lose that. So let's get, where did our gimpy little paintbrush go? All right, Let's again do another layer on the back side. Get enough that it's going to stick well. And let's line this guy up. I will hold it up after I get it lined up. Normally when you're doing collaging with napkins, you don't have to be this precise. But we're working on such a tiny surface here, and there's such a specific part of the design that I want to keep. I'm being more intricate than I need to. I did not get in a big hurry or be too rough. You're always better off putting more on and then just kind of using your finger to wipe some of it off if you have too much than you are trying to spread it too thin and pushing too hard. Just remember, we're working with something that's essentially 1/3 the thickness of a normal napkin because we've pulled apart those plies. Okay. I got lucky. That stuck to my finger, but it did not rip off the actual paper clip. All right. I'm gonna close the medium up while that is starting to dry, and then I'll point something else out to you after we shoot it quick with the heat gun and take it off there. So let's get this guy. I can't quite see. Oh yeah, there, you can kind of see the shimmer on it simply because it's wet. See, no more shimmer. Okay, you don't want to hit it too long, and you don't want to hold it too close. Now, I am glued here, so I think this time I'm going to use the knife. This may or may not. Sometimes these knives aren't sharp enough to cut it without ripping, and you're better off using the water trick. Let's see. Gently popping that off. Am I unhooked? Yes. Okay, so we are completely unhooked. We're going to pull that off. So what I was going to show you, you can see here, here's the, kind of original, because these are distress sprays, they are not, they can still be water activated. I did not put the sealant on this. So when the moisture of the matte medium hit it, it did pick some up and bring it along. Because we're covering it, I'm not concerned about that. Whoa, wrong direction knife. Not concerned about that because we're covering up the entire thing. So now, couple of different tricks you can do to get this trimmed. You can use scissors. You can use water like we showed. And I don't have, you can also use a nail file, and that's how I typically like to do it, and I don't have one in here. Let me go grab one, because that is the easiest and best way to do it, in my opinion. Okay, back. I've got an extra fine here. You can use much more rough, lower grit if you're working on something heavier, like say, if you've got something hanging over like a canvas board or even a canvas, you can use something heavier. But because we're working on paper, I'm going to use this fine. And you just very gently go at an angle, and it is going to take off just the edge. And it'll essentially flake right off. I'm going to do both sides. And that is going to give you a much cleaner edge. You don't want to do it too much. You want to really watch for that color to come off the edge of your paper. You can see here, you can't see the white of the under paper. Let me see if I can get that close enough. So here you can't see the white. You're starting to, and there you go. Now with the top, let's go ahead and do this side. Get our sides all cleaned up. This one, I think we're going to have to use water. There's a little piece there that didn't come. A little obviously harder there on the bottom. And we can't get in the, won't fit in the middle of the clip, so the paper clip. So we can use water, or I might have, where's my tiniest pair of scissors? I've got a teeny. Well, I don't know where they went. I had a teeny tiny pair of scissors to use for this stuff, and I don't see them. All right, so let's see if we can use our water trick to weaken that along the edge. And get that to come off. Oh, questionable. You know what, maybe, let's see. We can't go through, but maybe it's flat enough. That's better. And let's do our same trick. If we can, there's our pokey tool. Let's do the same trick with our pokey tool that we did before. And we're just gonna slide it in there to pull it up, give us a little bit of space. And I'm just gonna go in like this. Not fast. Oh, that's not very helpful because you can't see what I'm doing. Not fast. What do we got there? Just that littlest bit. And I wonder if I can get a hold of it with this. There. I know that is not a paper tool, but it worked for our purpose. Okay. How beautiful is that? I love it so much. It's a little piece that we can get off. Okay, now we want our succulent over here. We're going a little more artsy with this one. Okay. We want our succulent over here in this corner, but it's a little dark and I don't want it to get lost. So I'm going to use our white gesso trick, and I'm going to let me see if I can pull you in just a little and still make sure that I'm keeping you so that you can still see things. I have to be very careful with moving things around. All right, we're going to try to hold this here. I'm just going to take a little bit of white gesso. I'm just going to smoosh it around a little bit. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us a lighter backdrop for that flower. Now I'm doing super light layers. I'll put just a little bit more. By doing light layers, now you got to be careful with this. You don't want to keep tapping on it as it's starting to dry because your finger's going to be sticky and you're going to pull up your napkin. So let's see how this sticker is going to look as we have it now. We're going to just hold it. Is that going to stand out enough? I would feel better with a little more white in the background. So I'm going to go a little bit more. And of course I didn't pull any out. I just grabbed it off the cap. Oh, can I get the, oh, there we go. I'll get the cap off and maybe I can just stick my finger in it. Oh man. I feel like today's projects are just take a chance. Oh, might have got too much there. Maybe not. Gotta let that dry. Gesso dries really fast. Could hit it with the heat tool. Blow on it. Still, let's see, while that's drying there, we still got to think about what we want to hang from it. And what we want to stick on the other side. I think that's pretty dry, and I think this is going to stand out better. Yes. So there you can see how much nicer that looks with the brightness being able to be seen. All right, so what else do we want on there? Do we want to put a little tag? I don't know if it needs that or not. I'll pull you out a little bit. Well, you know, you can never go wrong with the tag, so let's do it. This I do want to add just a little bit of ink to. I don't know that that's the color I wanted, but that's the color we're doing because that's the color I got in my hand. All right, so, whoops. Let's add this. Now that we're zoomed in more so that you can see better, I have no idea if you can see what I'm doing. going to try to be reasonable and take a decent guess. I think I want it hanging off the side. Don't glue to the paper. Have some sense. Okay. All right. Probably should have inked those edges. What about if we use this teeny little brush and try to get, let's try to get some ground espresso on there. This could be an absolute disaster, but we're going to try. I'm going to try this here, and then I'm going to use the regular thing for the rest. I just love the ink edges. It just doesn't seem as finished to me without some inked edges. Gotta be careful though. We don't want to get too out of control. Okay. Now it's not super intricate, right? But we've got enough going on, I think, in the background that we really don't need it to be super over the top. I'm going to do this again where I plug my glue and then we turn it over and we knead it again. That is so pretty. I just don't know what else we want to put on that because I do not want to cover that up. It's so nice. Even that feels like it's covering too much. The flow of this design is so beautiful. All right. Let's see what we can find that's small. That might still look nice. What about a butterfly that won't cover up too much? Let's see what we've got for small butterflies in here. I know there's a million of them. And I know there are some little ones. Oh, that's pretty. Too big. There's a bug. It's a little stamp. Butterfly is not going in the right direction. See, the funny thing about this is what you end up doing. This is how you end up hoarding stuff. What if we put the butterfly there? Or hung here? What if we put our butterfly off to the side? We got our flower on that side. It's got the purple. It's got some blue that's pulling a little bit of, that's what we're doing. We're going to do that. I really like this too, but I think we're going to do that. And I think we want, what do we want hanging from the bottom? We might want to put that on first, if anything. What about one of these little jewelry tags? Today's video's got a lot of thinking. Ended up long. Let's grab one of these little bitty jewelry tags. It's white on the back, but a little bit yellow on the front, which pulls from that yellow. So I like that. I'm okay not having a lot of stuff up at the top because it feels weird to not put something up there, but I just really, really like that pattern. Okay, let's see. What do we want to do here? What if we just had just some words? Let's just do some words. And what color do we want it to be? Shall we do green? Because we've got some green up there. Let's do green. This is going a totally different direction than I had initially thought. But let's get some ink on there. Can't even tell if I got it on there right. Get this out of the way. Other things out of the way. Everything out of the way. And let's just put something on there. Yes. Light. Just enough. All right. Now, do we want to use green around our edges? Why not? I'm just grabbing this. Instead of putting it, I know you guys are probably, we are way into it now. And I want a little bit extra on there because I like that green. I think it looks okay. Not too dark. All right. Now, where are you? Here you are. I think I want to tie this through first. I think I'm just going to put it through and knot it. Where did our pokey tool go? Because that works so good for this. Oh no, runaway. Oh, there it is. I set my stamp on it to say runaway pokey tool. Come back, pokey tool. All right. So fumbly. There's probably a million easier ways to do this. Oh. What about if I use some gravity? Why am I trying to go through the bottom? If you go through the top, gravity will help you. Okay, we want that to hang. Do it that way. Will it hang straight or is it going to? I think it probably will. We don't want it too super tight. We're just going to fumble along. Oh, come on. Let's see how we might be able to finagle this into a knot that isn't super tight. Okay, hey. Look at there, it worked. Guys, it worked. All right, now he is going to go down here. And we know we're going to be hanging off the bottom, so we're gonna not put a bunch. We don't wanna go all the way down with our glue. So we are going to right about there. I love it. The tiniest bit of wiggle room was all we needed. And I think that that is lovely. All right, other side. What do we want to hang from this one? I don't think we need to be super crazy. How about, we've got our believe. We could just put a little flower on there. A second flower. Oh, decisions are hard. How about this? I'm going to get this out of my way. I am going to grab a pen here. What color do we want? I like the brown with it, so we're going to decide that. We are going to decide we want the flower, and we're going to add some little purple amethyst beads. So let me close up the glue, and let me grab a couple of these little amethyst beads. I think they will look pretty. We're going to see what I end up getting a hold of. Oh, because they're so tiny. There goes one. I'm not going to be able to find that on the floor. Okay. I thought I saw it, which was silly. I don't know why I was thinking that. All right, so I've got some very small amethyst and green adventurine beads. I think they're, might have a little moss agate one too. All right, so let's decide that we want to go. I can't remember if these go around the curve or not. They do, barely. They do not want to because they're so small. All right, well, maybe we only have one. I was hoping that we could get him a little further. I think if we push much more, we're going to break it. I'm going to put a green one on. And he might just be up there at the top, and that's okay. And how about another purple? Come here. Come here, amethyst. Now, will that still close? Oh, well, the green guy was just fine going down. Okay. All right, so let's do this. We're going to go through here. We're going to close this up. So there is our dangle, and we're going to add this guy with the jump ring. And then we're going to get our big mess out of the way, and we're going to take a look at what we've finished up. It is always amazing to me how fast the time goes when you're just having a good time. When you're sitting down, you're crafting, you're relaxing. Even when things aren't going well and things are kind of seeming to fall apart while you're trying to do your crafting, it's still better than a lot of other things I can think of doing to pass the time. All right, so I'm going to... I could have just put it all the way on there, slid it on there. Why am I trying to do everything the hard way today? Because why not? Just stick my charm on. Oops, I am not. It's not helpful, is it? It's because I got you zoomed in so far. I'm not used to any of it, but all right, seam, where'd you go? Oh, it's right there. Okay. So let's see how he looks. Oh, I was gonna be like, oh no, we did it backwards. No, we didn't. We just, oh, that one is backwards. All right. We're gonna do it the easy way this time. We're going to open this up. We're going to take this off. We're going to figure out which way it needs to go. Oh, it doesn't matter which way we do it, because it needed to go, well, It's going this way. Because we said so, and we are finished for the moment. Okay. So let's look at what we ended up with. I'm going to stick this here on the, let's see, let's go from this direction. All right. So here's what we ended up with, and I think they are lovely. So we've got our beautiful napkin print with our little butterfly. We've got our green butterfly with our little carnelian bead. And then here on the smaller sides, out of the way. No, these are the larger size. Oh, we got flowers on both. I didn't even realize we were doing that. With some little charms and some little beads. And the flower's cute from the front or the back, so it really doesn't matter which way it hangs. We got stripes on both sides just going in different directions. So thank you so much for hanging out again. I will go ahead and post our Fumbly first altered paperclip video, because they are different than these, and they weren't a complete and total failure, just it was a little harder. So we'll get both of them posted here. And you know, this one from earlier, I got to thinking that while it's not super tight here, we do have other things that are thicker that we can put them on. It doesn't just have to be one single piece of paper, right? It can be a journal, or let me grab one that I've done in the past. Okay, so here's an older one. It's, you know, a little wider, but it can easily be used on something bigger like this. That's not going anywhere. And it's still cute. And so it's still useful. Not for only a single piece of paper, probably as much as we would have hoped. But it can be useful for some bigger, bulkier things. So I take it back. It wasn't not only a complete failure, it wasn't a failure. We're going to say that we made this specifically for a larger journal. And that is the story that we're sticking to. So thank you guys again for hanging out today. Had a good time, learned some things, practiced some things. Excuse me. And appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you all very soon. We will see you next time. Bye.